Yo, this is Howard Von Noise, the OG of Creepy Cool, presenting Noise Inc. on AMR Radio. Tonight we have all kinds of awesome, bringing the show down with you, from interviews, reviews, special guests, not to forget our underground creepy sauce, and very relevant, the strange. What's up? This is Hal Von Noise on Noise Inc. Radio, and to this episode we have our special guest, Daniel Armstrong.
Hello.
How are you, Daniel?
I'm good. Man.
We got Ghoul McD hanging loose.
Yeah.
With the Hal Von Noise, and it's a nice sunny day in Goulburn.
And we've also got a new co-host this week.
Do we?
Yeah. Smooth Boney.
Smooth Boney's hanging for Halloween month.
Yeah, he's going to be here for the Halloween
Sweet.
festivals.
The season of horror. The horror season.
We'll see what else we can get from Safeway and Aldi in the meantime.
Awesome. So what better special guest to have than the man himself that makes horror movies?
I'm stocking up on Christmas supplies right now.
Yeah.
It's the best time.
Yeah, all the props. Brought up the prop warehouse. Cool. Well, Daniel, give us, for those that don't know of yourself, give us a quick rundown on what you do and what you're about.
Oh, very broad question. I make movies. I make movies here in Melbourne. Made about 5 feature films. Made I don't know how many shorts, and I make music videos as well.
Yeah.
They're always comedies, generally speaking, the movies I make, but usually have a horror theme, so they're like really violent comedies, which is the best kind, because there's normally not enough blood and guts in most comedies for my taste.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like a funny death?
Death is just hilarious. Intestines are funny. It's like kind of the fart joke of horror movies, I suppose, some intestines.
Awesome.
That's essentially me. Been doing it, I guess. First one that got out was about 2013. That was Murderdrome, which was the roller derby slasher movie.
Cool.
The first one I shot was the pro wrestling zombie film from Parts Unknown, but that didn't come out till 2015.
Yeah, right. So was that just you didn't want to finish it off at the time, or?
It's more like I couldn't. Like we shot that. The shoot went really, really well, but I had no idea about how to finish a film in post-production. We had all sorts of sound problems and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Also, like I kind of ended up really poor, and I ended up living back with my mother and stuff at that time, and the computer I had was like dying, and I just couldn't finish it. So I kind of put it on the shelf and went, I'll get back to that when life settles down.
That's it.
And part of that process was going out and making Murderdrome, which was meant to be it's meant to be lower scale and easier to do. It's kind of like, we won't be so ambitious with it. Let's just quickly. It was actually meant to be just like a web series with like about 15 minutes or whatever.
Oh, right.
45-minute episodes. Accidentally became a feature film.
Yeah.
After we finished that, I went, okay, I'll go back and finish the other one. So it came out. So the first film came out second.
Sweet.
And then 2016 was Sheeborg Massacre. 2017 was Tarnation. And this year we've been shooting Nova Star, which is the Sci-Fi.
Yeah, unreal.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So all genre stuff. All quite funny, tongue-in-cheek, because we're doing it really cheap.
Yeah. So, the grindhouse budget.
So you give it, we got the how much money's in my wallet budget, which is never a lot. So like, you do it kind of retro, kind of cheap, and then anything that doesn't quite work, if you're trying to sever a head or strangle someone with some intestines, if it looks a little bit hokey, you can kind of go, but that's part of the joke, guys. You sort of, it's a fun type of movie. It's the type of movie I watched growing up, I guess.
Awesome. That's crazy. So obviously, you do other things as well, like music videos, short films, bits and pieces.
Yes. Short films I haven't done for many, many years. I did that when I was a kid, kind of growing up, which is they were the options when I was a kid. We didn't have HD cameras in our pockets like everybody does now, because I'm quite an old. Can I swear on this show? Because I was about to say
S-word, F-bombs are cool. Just no C-bombs.
Well, I was going to say old C-bomb, but whatever. We won't do that.
I can put in a bleep if you need.
Quite an old.
Or a chicken squeal.
Just say mate instead.
Mate.
These Monday to Friday chickens on this mother trucking plane. Anyway,
choking the rooster.
Yeah. So when I was a kid, you couldn't really make feature films yourself like you can nowadays. You'd have to like I can remember the parents had one of those old. You're not old enough to remember. You might be.
8mm.
Those old 8mm.
Yeah. I have one of those with a cartridge. You slot the cartridge.
You slot the cartridge in. I think you got 6 minutes of film in it or whatever. You can make little movies on that, but you had to edit in camera.
We had the good one. You could put a whole VHS in it.
Oh, for one.
And just record over the top of a blank VHS.
Yeah, with the shoulder unit.
Well, yeah, and that was like friends of mine had those camcorders, that kind of stuff. So, but they would, and I'd steal mum and dad's VCR, take it around to my friend's place, plug it into my friend's VCR, and you'd play on one, record on the other. That's how you'd edit.
Wow. Okay.
Which is
so you'd stop, record, then
you'd play back what you shot, you record on the other one, stop. What's the next bit? So it was all totally linear.
Wow, unreal.
Different world entirely. And then when it was done, you didn't really have any outlet for it. To be like invite everyone around to your house and watch it on the TV,
private.
Or if a friend had a video projector, maybe that. Or if you had lots of money, you could hire a little theaterette and video projector. But it's still just your friends and family.
Yeah,
See,
you
nowadays, like you pull out a little HD camera from your pocket.
Yeah, you can go live.
Shoot a little film. You can edit it on your little phone, and then you can add some visual effects and all sorts of stuff. And then you can dump it on YouTube, and anyone.
Your
can
audience
see
is
it.
straight into it.
Yeah, it's a real different world.
Yeah,
Probably a much better world. I grew up in. It was really hard trying to do cool stuff in film when all you had was like camcorders and plugging two VCRs.
Yeah, unreal. So that leads into an obvious question. As a film producer, the world has become a lot more diverse and accessible for that interpretation of
absolutely
film. Yeah,
you could call it. It depends who you talk to. Like photographers are affected by this as well. Like even musicians, I imagine, are affected by it. Like the
digital world.
Like I can download some apps and some samples and stuff and make a song. It's not necessarily any good, but I've got the power to do it now. Whereas before there used to be kind of barriers to anybody doing it. Same with photography. You don't actually need to own a camera. Everyone owns a camera now.
Yeah,
to go out and take photos, and everyone
put a filter over.
Everyone can touch them up with the filters and all that sort of stuff. And for the most part, and same with video. Like everyone's got a camera, everyone can edit it. There are apps that will edit for you if you like that kind of stuff, and they all do a pretty good job as well.
Almost like an auto tune for a vocalist.
Pretty much.
Having a bad day at the office.
Yeah.
Is the local film industry saturated like the music industry with local filmmakers?
I'd say heaps of. I think it's like when I was a kid, you were in a band. Like I played when I was 15 to 20 or whatever. I played guitar and I was in a band, and that's sort of what you aspired to creatively. It's like I'm going to be a rock star.
Yeah.
It turned out I had no musical talent, so that didn't work out. But I think it's kind of making movies or making music videos or making kind of visual art. Visual arts, I think, is what kids do now, whether it's sometimes a mishmash of video and photography and that kind of stuff. But it's all visual. If you think about where they're putting it, like on all the socials, it's all visual. Yeah. So, it's not really... I don't know where music lies, because, I don't know about you, but if I'm scrolling through an Instagram feed or Facebook or whatever and a video pops up, I don't actually turn the sound on. I might stop and watch
I don't rarely turn the sound on.
No, you wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
It's a really weird world we live in nowadays.
It's unreal.
But when I was a kid, it was all about music. It was weird to be going out and making movies.
Okay, so that's a bit niche.
Very niche, very weird. Being in a band, everyone did that.
Yeah.
Everyone was in a band of some sort, even if it never got out of the garage.
Yeah.
Everyone was in a band. So I feel like now, not that I would know what the kids are doing, but everyone kind of makes some kind of visual stuff. Everyone has a crack at it at some point, don't they? Even if it's just getting a little more thoughtful or sophisticated about how they do their freaking videos that they upload onto.
Yeah, there is some
Facebook
people trying to take it next level. You can see with their Instagram posts.
Which is so I'd say it is saturated. In terms of I'm fairly old school, and I've for the last 10 years or so only made features and music videos. And I work as a freelance video editor too, or I have been working as a freelance video editor, which is corporate videos and stuff. So that's how I pay the rent and all that kind of stuff. But I've kind of, in terms of the art side of it, but the art and craft side of it, always tried to focus on features.
Yeah.
Just
and do you reckon that's like the separating degree? Do you think that with the talent and the skill and the passion would separate you from?
You definitely got to have a lot of dedication to try and pull out features. There's a few people in Melbourne though, like there's Stuart Simpson. He's done as many sort of features as I, or Addison Heath as well, who did like the Viper's Hex and a whole lot of do-it-yourself kind of features like that.
Bring in all the homies and
Nathan Hill's been doing it for a million years, and I don't know how many films he's made, but he must have made 10 or something. I don't know.
Unreal.
Features. So there are guys who do it. It's a real passion or whatever. There's other guys too. Don't get offended if I don't mention
Stuart Marshall.
Stuart Marshall is another one. Yeah. There's a bunch of guys.
Yeah, right.
Who do it, and girls as well. I just don't know any of them.
Well, is Leanne Campbell making?
Leanne Campbell's
short films here and there as well.
Yeah, she does stuff. And Sarah Lamberg is another name. I don't know her, but I know her name. So there's a few. Donna McRae just made a little film that I think got picked up by Umbrella and that sort of stuff. So there's a few people who focus on features. I think the reason you do that when you're doing it, I call this do-it-yourself filmmaking.
Yeah,
you go out and do everything yourself instead of like hiring people to do it, like a professional production. That was my inverted commas voice, by the way, I was playing at home.
Yeah, but to me, that's what separates you from the rest. Like you'll build a project, expand, and bring a team together, and project manage a film.
It is. Yeah, it is pretty much a team effort. Project manage is a good way to describe it. That's sort of what a director does, or at least that's sort of what I do as a director. It is about bringing on the right people, to do the right stuff.
For sure.
Like 80% of being qualified to be one of the right people is turning up and working for free. And the other 20% is can you do it?
Yeah.
So
well, I'd say in Melbourne that there is a good network of artists and actors, musicians that want to collaborate. People, just in general. So.
People want to do stuff, don't they? Like, ultimately. I think we're all resigned. I hate to say it out loud, but I'm sure it's not.
Say it, man.
I think we're all resigned to the fact that it's really hard to, like, music, film, all that kind of stuff, really hard to dig any money out of it.
Realists.
Yeah, realists. Well, and also, we've all been around a while, so it's like that.
Yeah.
The shine goes off that dream after a little while when you've tried it a couple of times. But, like, people in musical film or art of any sort just want to do stuff. So so you gravitate towards other people who are doing cool stuff. Yeah,
and you trade the time and the talent.
Absolutely.
Much,
I mean, you don't even think about asking for money if you're going to help somebody here and there. Because, like, otherwise, what are you doing? Otherwise, for instance, I'll be editing corporate videos, which is great because it pays you money. But it's like,
creative.
How excited? How creative can you get? Shooting somebody using a power drill. It's like, well, okay, here we go. Bang, bang, bang. So, like, you gravitate towards somebody who's like, I don't know, music videos, stuff like that, or other films, that kind of stuff.
For sure.
I'm not sure if any of that was a sentence. But you probably
it made sense.
You probably grabbed the reasonable, pertinent, relevant bits of information out of it somehow.
Yeah. Not for sure. Now, we're talking about music videos, and obviously being a podcast, we're going to play some music. So, we'll drop a song by the Mercy Kills. Yeah, they're a band you've worked with.
Yeah, heaps. Heaps. They've been involved in every film I've ever done, like right from the start.
Yeah.
Not just supplying music, but they've appeared. They appeared like Mark, Mark E.
Yeah, he's good. He's acting.
He had a fairly major part in Sheborg Massacre.
Yeah.
Managed to get himself killed by. How did he die? Was it death by whippersnipper, or was that somebody else? There's a great scene where somebody. He's sitting in the front of a van or whatever, and one of the other characters sees him, and he looks like he's asleep. And they come up and they open the door, and his guts just fall out on the ground, and then he falls out. And Mark, being Mark, like, he doesn't half-ass it. He falls out of this van, which was a good half a metre off the ground or whatever. That sounds like an exaggeration. It was a high van. It was a transit van. He falls out, and he made sure, number one, that he hit the ground hard because he was
convincingly,
dead, and number two, that his face landed in the intestines, which is just commitment.
That is.
He knew what the audience wanted, so so those guys have been involved in. I mean, they've written songs. They wrote a song for Sheborg Massacre, and they wrote the theme song for Tar Nation, and they appeared in that film as well as the Demon Band.
That's awesome. Song. So they've become a really close unit working with yourself.
And I've made a few music videos with them as well.
Cool.
And I've worked a little bit with Josh, the drummer, who's really keen on, I think he wants to learn more about video and make all the music videos himself. So he shot and I directed a music video for the Dead Amigos, if you know those guys.
Yeah. I don't know them personally, but I know them on the scene, I
think we might have a track of theirs.
Sweet.
Very sweet. But so fire away. Which song we playing?
Supersonic.
Was Supersonic.
Your request.
Wow.
So why did you shoot that?
The Mercy Kills are a bunch of creative guys, so this was entirely their idea. I think it came from, seemed to be driven by Jen, the bass player.
Yeah.
It was her idea to turn them all into superheroes and to make a comic book kind of music video for it. So that idea was entirely theirs. And we shot it, pretty much 90% of that was shot in my garage.
Cool.
Just against a green screen. So it was a lot of work in post putting it all together, but it's a really fun music video and a really cool song.
And they launched that single this year, was it? Pretty sure. Or was it?
Yeah, a little early this year.
Last year.
Might have been late last year or early this year.
Because what I thought was cool is that when they did the launch, they were wearing all the same outfits.
They dressed up in the costumes from the music video. Yeah. And they had little screens around Cherry playing the music video.
Great idea.
It was a very cool launch.
Awesome.
For their EP or whatever, it was earlier this year, because I'm sure that EP still...
Yeah, it's pretty current, yeah. Cool, well, let's drop the Mercy Kills, Supersonic. And we'll come back and talk with Daniel Armstrong and all things horror.
All units proceed to your post assignments. 3, 2, 1, 0.
Initiate launch sequence now. A supersonic laser cloud. I've got you. I hit my 5-game turn back now. Can't get my shit together today. You know I've got you on my radar. Fly right in and blow you away. You know I've got you on my radar. You know I've got you in my crowd. And I can't wait to cut you down. I've got you. You know our play is way too loud. Can't get my shit together today. You know I've got you on my radar. Fly right in and blow you away. You know I've got you on my radar.
All units report status. Weapons online. Mission complete.
Can't get my shit together today. You know I've got you on my radar. Fly right in and blow you away. You know I've got you on my radar. I've got you. I've got you. I've got you to myself. I've got you. I've got you. I've got you.
What's up? This is Halb on Noise, back on Noise Inc. Radio, and you just heard the Mercy Kills Supersonic, which our guest Daniel Armstrong produced and directed the music video for those cats.
That's correct.
Yeah, so there's a bit of animation and other things going on with that. Did you want to
Yeah, there is. I'll try to.
give away some behind the scenes
Trade secrets. Yeah, yeah. I
trade
think-
secrets on that?
I mentioned just before we went into it, it was all shot in my garage, basically against a green screen, which is just a cloth we strung up with gaffer tape or whatever between two stands or whatever, and then the rest of the clip is all created with elements in the computer. So the Mercy Kills themselves are the only live element. And Jen from the Mercy Kills, she did most of the artwork. So the backgrounds, like I think you see a bit of St Kilda. I think you see a little bit of the park in the background.
Yeah.
And some other generic environments. There's a couple of aliens. There's some spaceships. So all those things Jen drew herself.
Cool.
And I just stuck them in the background and animated them around a little bit.
All the acts, all the sequences.
Like Mark has to fight a dinosaur, so he had some laser beam come out of his mouth to hit the dinosaur, and there's a little bit of action. So it took a little bit of time. None of it's not very sophisticated animation. It's just keyframe animation. So just maybe an arm moving. I'm demonstrating here because it's not a visual.
Visually, you're telling us.
But it suited it. It suited it, kind of hokey little animation.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it was a good collaborative effort with with myself and Mercy Kills.
Yeah, rad.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's get back a bit more into your film production. I think
Yes.
you had a question about the
the props.
Gaz.
What would you normally use as intestines? Or would you use real intestines from, say, a pig, or you're making them out of plasticine?
Well, you've hit the nail on the head first time there. Normally what we use is pig's intestines.
Shit.
You can go down to Footscray Market, I think it is, and just score a bunch of pig's intestines. Sometimes you do juice them up with a little bit of fake blood yourself, just so they're bloodier or more. And the fake blood is almost always we use some kind of mixture of chocolate sauce and like water, maybe with a bit of food.
I've heard the chocolate sauce story.
Yeah.
That's been around for years.
The chocolate sauce.
Well, like the Cotties.
The cottage chocolate sauce.
Yeah.
Unreal.
It's not a bad way to do it because it's just it's sticky.
got the continuity.
actors hate it because you cover them with it and then they're sticky and getting eaten by ants the whole time. But actors, what a bunch of divas. But there was one time with pig's guts where because pigs' intestines are surprisingly skinny, and one guy, the guy Ash was his name, the guy who was helping us out with the special effects. Because he wanted them kind of fatter, so they looked more like big sausages, right? So he actually sat there with the intestines, looking for the anus, so that he could then get a little funnel and fill them full of the cottage chocolate sauce, so they'd be fatter. There's video footage somewhere of him sitting
Surely
there.
there's something cheaper than cottage chocolate sauce.
Well, you get the home brand, and then you dilute it as well. Like you mix it with a lot of water, so that you get a kind of lot of it. But there were
Shit.
I'm picturing like various different film sets and locations. There's often always lots of empty home brand cold
Discarded bottles.
chocolate sauce bottles everywhere. It's like, there's 8 over there, so must be a lot of blood today.
Unreal. Big blood scene.
How does the Aldi brand stack up against cottage?
Well, I haven't tried that. Might put that on the budget for next time. Just
Put a bit of R&D into the...
Yeah. Well, that's right.
Unreal. So I guess out of all the feature films you've made, what is your favourite memory? I guess this still plays back in your head and you think, shit, that was a good time.
Oh, wow. Hard to think of one specific one. I do know Shooting from Parts Unknown, which is the first feature we ever shot, was probably overall the best and most fun shoot we'd ever had. And part of that was because we had no idea what we were doing, I think.
Okay.
So,
just winging it.
It's like out on some of our radio shows.
Well, I think you have this kind of starry-eyed kind of optimism, or I don't know, sense of excitement about it. Like, oh my god, we're filming stuff and there's people doing things. You get kind of excited every time something works.
Yeah.
Once you got it, you kind of. So there was a lot of that, and everyone was so dedicated to that, and it went on forever. Like we probably shot that for 42 days.
Oh wow!
Which was over like maybe 6 months. And it was just a really great time. Everyone was really into it. And then it all kind of fell over in post-production. It didn't get finished. And I went and made another film. But it eventually got finished.
Yeah.
But we made it's a huge mess, but it's a beautiful kind of mess, if you know what I mean. And there's a lot of things in it that are really cool and work really well that we shouldn't have been able to make happen. Because it's an action film. It's not people talking or being, having deep...
dialogue-driven.
No, we have a huge scene with what looks like dozens of people. It was probably only 8 at the time, like a huge kind of riot scene, and we've got fight scenes. The end of the film is about 25 minutes of just people fighting.
Crazy.
And it's not like we had stuntmen; we had actors. And, we had a lot of professional wrestlers involved because that was the conceit of the film. They were all pro wrestlers. This girl Jenna Dwyer was the star, and she was a pro wrestler, and so she's using pro wrestling moves to kill the zombies or whatever.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
but and all the pro wrestlers there didn't actually play wrestlers, so it was like actors. Like Jenna had to, she went and trained probably for, it must have been a couple of months with PCW, who's a pro wrestling promotion here in Melbourne. She went and trained with them for like 9 weeks just to learn how to
get all the moves
impersonate a pro wrestler.
Yeah,
and she does a couple of wrestling matches in the movie, and like they really did those.
They're full on.
Yeah, in front of a little audience. It's like they just went.
Awesome.
I mean, if they screwed anything up, we just went cut. Do it again.
Yeah, pick it back up. Yeah.
But that was a super fun shoot. So like that stands out. Probably the other, if I'm going to think of a single moment, there's a couple of moments. I do like in Sheborg Massacre when Phil, who owned the property on which we shot most of that film, drove a car into a tree for us.
Oh yeah,
that was fun.
Is that when it goes up the path?
Yeah. It ends up sort of scooting up the
cool
tree.
Moment.
It was meant to roll over. He was
yeah.
like, what I'm going to do is he put a little ramp there so the car would kind of go up the tree, and he's like, I'm going to hit the tree, go up, it's going to roll over and fall this way. So we're all expecting him to die. So we're like, let's get a couple of cameras
Get the first
on it.
aid kit ready.
Yeah, but he actually came at the tree too fast, so he just stuck up there. And then afterwards, he's sitting in the car, sort of going, "Come on, roll, you bastard!" Trying to make it roll. Like,
Jeez, that's pretty courageous to actually want to drive a car up into a tree and roll it.
that's crazy stuff. And he was super keen to do it. We were kind of like, we could just roll the car down the hill towards the tree. Like, that'll look just as cool. But he's like, no, it's fine. I'll drive it. All right, take it.
Jesus,
Away you go.
unreal.
And one other time, we had a stunt rigger in, professional stunt rigger, who does the sort of wire work stuff that you see in movies. And Daisy, who's been in a lot of the films, she was the lead in Tarnation.
Yeah.
We had her dangling by her ankles upside down from a tree. And she sort of grabs a crossbow, fires up into one of the branches, and it breaks the cord and she drops to the ground.
Yeah.
She wasn't dangling too far off the ground in the actual shot. She was maybe a metre off the ground dangling upside down. But to get a shot of her falling through the frame, we had to take her up probably about 4.5 metres. Like, it was really high. Heads off the ground 4.5 metres. And then she gets released and just drops through the frame, and the wire guy just stops her. So like, she's
A lot of trust in that wire guy.
she's way up here. And when we drop her through, you know, action, and it's just a body falling through a frame. We could have just dressed a dummy in her clothes and done it, to be honest. But anyway, she just goes.
It's got to be real.
She just goes through the frame, and the wire guy stopped her. And like, I kid you not, no exaggeration, her nose was probably an inch from the ground, and you just hear her she's out of shot on the take or whatever, on the footage. But just after she falls through shot, you just hear her say, "Motherfucker!" So that's probably another favourite moment there.
Jesus, that's crazy.
When we nearly just killed Daisy for a shot that I don't think actually even ended up in the film.
Oh, damn. Well, at least in the director's cut, it made it. Yeah,
I'm sure it's in the bloopers or something, or a behind the scenes thing somewhere.
unreal. So I guess when you come up with a film idea or feature film idea, you start putting the script together and planning the production, the cast and the crew. How long do these take to put together? Like you mentioned before, you had one of your films in Spain recently featured, and that was a couple of years ago. So
just last night or the night before, Tarnation. Played in Spain, but we shot that in 2016. But it's only just kind of doing the rounds now.
Unreal.
So it's it really is. I mean, I haven't had to work, I suppose, on Tarnation for a while. It was finished a year ago.
Yeah.
But then it takes someone else another year to kind of push it around, because we have a sales agent who deals with our films.
Sweet. Yeah.
So when they're done, we give them to him.
Yeah, here's all the content.
Yeah.
Well, all the assets, if you want to get industry.
All the assets. Well, no, you just deliver a master. And,
Okay.
And all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then he takes it from there to try to get it around. But like, it's a from shooting, like, it normally takes around about 20, somewhere between 25, 30-ish days of shooting.
Yep.
But because we're not full time, that can actually be like 2, 3, or 4 months.
Okay, span
Sort
it
of
over.
Yeah, and for instance, with Tarnation, there was like we got say about 18 days shot in about a month. So
cool.
we just went out in the evenings and got a lot shot.
Yeah.
But then, like, I went to LA and other people disappeared, and we had about a 6-month break before we went back and shot the last 8 days or so.
Sweet. Okay.
So they can take a long time. And then there's, I mean, I've never really kept track of it, but obviously it takes a little while to write the script, so that happens way before that. And then it takes a little while to start to work out where you're going to shoot it.
Right.
Do you need any props? We had to make Sheborg armor for Sheborg. It's like, how are we going to do that?
Yeah.
Who are we going to get to do that? You know, so it's sort of, it's 18 months, 2 year kind of process from like, let's make this film to the film screening it in Spain.
That's awesome. Yeah. So there's a lot of work. Like.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I guess
It's actually really. I think about this. It starts off as a very lonely kind of thing, because it's just me and a computer.
Yeah, chilling.
Going, I wonder what I can write, and then maybe you get 1 or 2 other people involved. Should we make this film? And you start talking about, who can we get to do this? Who can we get to do that? Then for a small compressed period, there's just dozens of people around all the time as you're actually making the film, and it's really hectic and like it's just this massive, intense kind of experience with like people around all the time.
Yeah.
Then the shoot finishes, and it's back to one person in the computer editing, and that section takes a really, really long time.
Awesome. Okay. And like, when do scripts for you, do they come to you with ideas, or you sort of just get in your zone and go, okay, I'm going to write a cool script today?
Bit of both, to be
Bit of
honest.
both, yeah.
I think it's like I try to be really disciplined when I'm writing something and treat it like I work. Don't lie there and wait for inspiration, because I can remember how many hours I wasted as a youth.
Yeah.
Just basically lying around waiting for inspiration to hit. And it's like, dude, if you just got off your ass and did it,
Start rolling
you
with
would
an
have
idea.
produced so much stuff. So, like, even if I'm not really feeling it, I always try to write if I'm writing something and make it a discipline.
Yeah, that's cool.
So a bit of both.
Yeah, because I know when I do songs and stuff, like I'm just lazy. I just wait for the idea to come to me. But yeah, there was a period where I was like, yeah, I want to come up and I want to express this idea, or
Yeah, sometimes you just got to work it, I think.
push yourself.
Yeah. And then usually through doing that, you find a way in. And you
Yeah.
go, I come digging this now, and then you're off.
The
But
creativity.
sometimes you have to work
yeah.
to kind of get there, I think.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Because you've got to try to be workmanlike. Like, I think about, even though we're not making money and we're not professionals, there's my inverted commas voice again, per se.
Yeah.
You've got all these people, especially when you're shooting, you've got all these people committing their time. And,
I'd say
and
the
their talent.
professional. There is a professionalism, mate, because the commitment
Well, they're
without
they are
financial
professional.
gain. It's like,
yeah. They're not paid, I suppose.
but yeah, that's even
they're definitely
more
professional.
awesome.
But I feel you can't fuck around on set. Like,
Yeah.
you want to know what you're doing, and you want to get people in and out fast. There are people, like on the last one we shot, we were shooting after work.
Yeah.
So there are people, starting work at 7 in the morning, finishing at 5, coming out and shooting till close to midnight, and then they're off to work again the next day. It's like, well, we better get out of here on time. And if we are running late, it better not be because, like, we didn't know what we were doing or didn't have a plan.
Yeah, but
So you got to
me,
respect
yeah.
that kind of commitment. from
Definitely.
people.
It's organised, and it is professional to turn up, work to a schedule, have yourself.
And part of that is
Yeah.
also you then can't then just kind of go, let's experiment around and see what we can come up with.
Yeah.
Then and there, it's kind of like, do you know what, we just have to be prepared and do it,
Yeah.
bang it out, and,
Cool,
and
man.
kind of make a product. Because that's,
Yeah.
if you don't end up with a product at the end of it, what did everyone give their time for?
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Awesome.
that happens a lot with like this do-it-yourself filmmaking. A lot of people start things they can't finish or don't get finished and that kind of stuff.
So I guess when you come up with a shot list of all the things you're going to shoot, they're all intended scenes, or do you find you'll shoot say
There's-
20 scenes and use 18, or
certainly sometimes you cut stuff out in the edit. Definitely, there's
narrow it down.
there's normally every scene in your script you should be intended. Like I storyboard the films, and I always have a shot list.
Cool.
Sometimes stuff's not working. And there can be a variety of reasons for that. Might be you just weren't prepared enough, like you didn't get any rehearsal time and whatever. It might be because we've had
The vibe
occasions.
wasn't there or something.
Yeah, we've had occasions where it's just not possible to do what's in the script at the location or in the set, so you have to go. We've had other occasions where things didn't turn up, or people didn't turn up who we were expecting to have.
So
and
that's
stuff
not
like
professional.
That. Yeah. Well, do it
Yeah.
yourself. Do it yourself. So sometimes you just got to kind of wing it a bit.
Sweet.
When you're there. But yeah, no, everything's intended. But still, when you get to the edit, sometimes for pacing and that, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But we're up to the 5th one so far. So the more we do, the closer the final product is to the script. Whereas, like, from Parts Unknown, it's kind of made that all in the edit, because there were problems with the script, which is an experience thing. That's all my fault. And the same with Murder Drone, the same with Sheborg Massacre. It's kind of like there's stuff you get there and you go, that didn't work. But then in Tarnation actually, Tarnation went right off script, but that was one of these. Someone didn't turn. In fact, somebody. Here's a story from Tarnation. Sorry, I'm segueing away.
That's all right.
There was a fairly main part in the film that was played by this guy whose name I legitimately forget. And that guy, and we shot a little bit with him, and then there was a little bit more to shoot later on. But then he disappeared. No one could get onto him.
Oh, what?
Because he ended up somewhere in jail.
Oh no!
So we not only then had to work out who was going to play that part, but we were going to have to reshoot everything we'd shot with him. And by that time, we'd lost access to some of the locations and some of the actors and all that kind of stuff. So we were forced to 2/3 of the way into the film basically completely rewrite the introduction and the conclusion of the whole film.
Damn it!
So that was the last 8 days of shooting, was a completely different introduction and conclusion. So that changed entirely, but that was
out of circumstance.
That was out of our control. But aside from that, Tarnation worked out as very much as intended, except for that one thing out of it.
Shit.
So we're getting better at hitting what we aim for, I suppose.
Yeah, and bouncing when you have to.
You've got to be flexible. Otherwise,
Don't
they
fall,
don't.
bounce.
Otherwise, they don't get finished, or they go on forever. So you just got to be ready to go. Okay, how are we finishing this?
Awesome.
Which that's the only reason. If you've seen Tarnation, the climax of the film is a rap battle between the devil and the heroine.
Yeah.
That scene was not in the original script. That happened just because of this guy ending up in jail that we talked about. And we're like, how are we going to finish the damn film?
That's cool, though. Yeah.
So it was like, oh, no, okay, the devil has a rap battle with her. Okay, cool, let's do that. Boom.
Awesome.
And so KidCrusher wrote that rap for us, and then we had to
cool.
get the actors to perform it. And the Mercy Kills actually were the demon backing band for that scene.
Yeah.
So that's an adventure in film.
It worked out for the best.
It did. It's like, and it all seems like it was intended.
Awesome. Well, let's drop another one of your choice tunes. So this is from track Taste, or Just a Taste from Ablaze.
Oh yes, Just a Taste from Ablaze. So
who are these cats?
Yeah, these cats. Oh,
I will drop in my choked rooster. You're the first one to do that. That's all good. It's all good.
yeah. No, well, they're a bluesy rock kind of band around Melbourne. They've been around for ages. I've done a couple of music videos with them.
Yeah.
And their latest one, Just a Taste, it's just in a car park, but it was really fun. It was me and a guy called Rom Antonis, who
Rom's
he shot it, but we spent most of the time. Rom was just sitting in a wheeled office chair.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was just pushing him around, the guys, and swinging him around, and that's how we shot most of this clip, which was a lot of fun. And it's a catchy, cool kind of song too.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, this is Ablaze with Just a Taste. We'll be back with Daniel Armstrong after this one.
Raise your fist, but no one's listening. You think you're red, but no one cares. Yeah, I know that you spent 5 long years with your skin a little less on a bed acting. We shot right out of the gate, leaving you in the crowd. It's too damn late. And I say, this is just a taste of what's coming. Ooh. just a taste of what's coming. There's not running. You don't know what you're starting. This is just a taste. This is just a taste of what's coming.
What's up? This is Halborn Noise, back on Noise Inc. Radio with Daniel Armstrong as our special guest tonight. You just heard the track Ablaze, Just a Taste. So we'll move along now into the current project, the current feature film, which is Nova Star.
That's right, Nova Star. We just finished shooting a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well, at least shooting all the actors in the sets.
Yep.
And this one's a science fiction.
Sweet.
Retro 80s style sci-fi.
Yep.
We're going to build little miniature spaceships and miniature planets. And
Cool.
Hopefully little miniature landscapes, alien landscapes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
shoot all of that. So that's the next bit to get onto. We haven't shot that yet. So that's that.
So you actually have to build those models and miniature sets, yeah? Or
Well, that's right. I mean, I have no skill at that whatsoever. So we will be finding someone to help us.
Unreal.
I mean, we've got a couple of guys. We've got Rick Idak and Russell Devlin.
Yep.
They do, I think it's called kit bashing. So they've got a whole lot of miniature spaceships and all that stuff already. But what kit bashing is, where you kind of get elements from different kits. So like you might have the kit for the Battlestar Galactica. And
okay,
you
sure.
might have a kit for the Liberator from Blake 7, and you pull bits off each of them and make your own kind of
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein it together. Yeah, I
sweet.
think that's what the scenario is there. But
Cool.
I've been taking a little break since we finished shooting.
Yeah.
And just spent a little, been spending just a casual amount of time editing it and doing some of the visual effects, and then the next big step will be getting into these miniatures, shooting it, and then I'll get seriously into finishing the film.
Awesome.
Kind of next year will be most likely.
Cool. Now, the cool moment, I guess, for me, you invited me down the set to play a mad dentist.
That's right. I think
pulled a toothbrush out of Jenna's eye wall, I think. Yeah.
it was a toilet brush.
Toilet brush.
That had got shoved into her eye. So the entire movie takes place from the perspective of the two people who clean the toilets aboard this epic spaceship, and then
Sweet.
there's a huge space war happens, but we sort of stick with the toilet cleaners, which is why this woman Jenna, who had that's why she's got a toilet brush in her eye, because
Unreal.
we've got some toilet cleaners running around causing havoc.
Yeah.
But yeah, that scene was that was an ad-lib scene, actually, because we had that was literally the last day of the shoot is the day you were on.
Yep.
And we what we needed to shoot was Jenna, who plays a character called General Zia. We had to shoot Jenna in her spaceship with a little pilot to slot into another scene we've shot in a different set that she's shooting at, sort of thing.
Yep.
And originally I asked you to basically come in and be the pilot.
Yeah, I think we did mention me to that. Yeah.
But we had these little robots they're huge, these robots called Killbots.
Yeah.
Which are the most ludicrously hilarious looking 50s monstrosities you've ever seen.
I thought that with
they're entirely encased in silver.
Oh, what's that? Lost in Space sort of.
Yeah, that Lost in Space kind of vibe. They got the Danger Will Robinson, all of that.
Yeah.
And I thought it's much funnier if one of those is flying the spaceship.
Yeah.
In which case I went on, but how he's coming? So what are we going to do? So I invented a scene. It's well, she has to get this toilet brush out of her eye.
Sick.
Which previously had happened off screen. So it's okay, you're a mad doctor. She comes to see you. We happened to have...
I had a turtleneck.
Turtleneck. You looked quite Dr. Goebbels.
Yeah, I was digging
quite
it.
Dr. And we even had just hanging around an old dentist chair.
Yeah.
And it weighs 8,000 tons. So it was an old dentist chair and that little ad-lib scene.
That was good fun.
Yeah, and it was, and that was the last day of shooting just a few weeks ago. Until we get on to our miniatures and all that jazz.
Yeah. So, are you planning this one to step up? I guess into the series of movies you've made. Do you want this to be a bit of a step up, or a bit more of a feature?
Well, every time I do a film, I just hope that we do it better than the last one, which is a really broad kind of thing. So whether that means it's more successful in terms of whether people like it or not, hopefully so.
Yeah.
Just as long as we do everything better. So, And I mean everything. Like, so we've scheduled it better, we've cast it better, we've organised stuff better, we've shot it better, recorded the sound better. Like, as long as we keep getting better at all those things, then I think it's well worth all our time. So
all those 5% things that they add up.
Yeah, just getting better at doing it. Getting better at doing it. That includes, better script and better direction and hopefully better. Hopefully, that all adds up to a better film.
Yeah,
sort of thing. But it is very subjective whether people enjoy it or not. And this one's like it's not horror at all.
Yep.
It's still comedy. It's still the exact same kind of
bit of black humour,
wacky sense of humour that they put in all the films. But it's retro. It's 80s sci-fi. It's like Battlestar Galactica or Buck Rogers from the 80s. It's like
unreal.
So Josh Collins made a whole lot of sets literally out of cardboard and junk for the interior of spaceships. Like he probably had to make, it might be as many as 10 or so different sets for us, including like the corridor of a spaceship, the cockpit of 2 or 3 different spaceships.
Yeah, I saw
we had to make an alien planet.
Yeah, shit.
So it was really ambitious in that sense.
Yeah.
And then of course, like had to rush it. The building we had, which again belonged to Josh, he's planning to like renovate it or knock it down or turn it into apartments or I don't know what he's planning to do to it. But essentially, I believe that work began almost immediately after we got out of there, so there's no chance to reshoot anything.
Ooh,
so we had to be really organised on this.
Are we done?
Yeah. We'll just have to do the dance of make it up as we go along.
Crazy. So you're planning this one to be out next year, you said? I
think we will. Yeah, maybe towards the end of next year we'll be premiering. Would be my plan. Probably around maybe August, September, around this-ish time next year.
Yeah.
Or maybe November-ish time.
Unreal.
It's a little hard to say. There's obviously a heap of visual effects. We're still going to shoot. We're still going to make and shoot miniatures, so that'll take a little bit of time. Yeah. But even just being a cheesy retro style sci-fi, just adding that number of laser beams to shots,
do it.
Will take a long time,
Yeah.
So there's a fair bit of like post-production kind of work to go.
Sweet.
But at the minute, it's all assembled, which just pretty much means everything we shot is stuck together in order.
Cool.
And there's a long way to go from there.
Yeah. But the one thing I guess being a fan as well of your stuff, like when I'm in the little group you've got with all the behind the scenes stuff going up every week, I was noticing you're bringing back all these cool characters and actors and actresses from other movies you've done.
Yes.
So I thought that was really cool to see. So everyone's a fan of your stuff are going to notice some familiar faces.
Well, that's part of doing things better. It's like you want to work with people who you know because you work better with people you know, and it's also like you we're all developing skills on the same kind of journey. But to your point there, this film features the lead from every film I've made. So
cool. So there you
Jenna
go.
Dwyer from Parts Unknown is in it, and we've got Amber from Murderdrome is in it.
Yeah.
And we've got Whitney from Sheborg Massacre.
Yep.
And Daisy from Tarnation. And Rebecca Fortuna plays the lead in this film. So it's the first time I've worked with her or she's worked with me. So she's the new one on the lead. And
it's like an all-star, all your leads in one.
It's like a reunion concert.
I'm bringing it back.
It's like, the way John Farnham never actually retired. He just keeps doing reunion concerts.
Unreal.
It's like one of those. But that was really cool. That sort of happened by accident, really.
Okay, that's good. So did you find like having those leads involved, there was a strong, like, what's the word? Like things were getting done quicker and more efficient, coming together better, or?
It was... Actually, I don't think we were ever held up for any actor not knowing lines or being unprepared. Everyone was ridiculously well prepared.
Cool.
Which was really, really good. There were quite a few, like Jenna Dwyer and Daisy, they had scenes together.
Yeah.
And those two are essentially the same person, except one's blonde and the other one's brunette.
Yeah.
And they laugh a lot. So the one day they were working together, there was a lot of like laughter and bloopers. And they had a fight scene, and they're both... Jenna was in the wrestling movie from Parts Unknown, and Daisy was in Sheborg and Tarnation, which had heaps of stunts and fights.
Yeah.
But both of them are good at accidentally hurting themselves and other people.
Oh, shit.
And breaking stuff. So the two of them in fight scenes together was good. They broke some prop guns. And,
God damn.
And they certainly hit each other a couple of times. So, that was a good fun day. But even so, it didn't really hold us up. I factored in a heap of time because I'm like, those two. Yeah. Extra time.
Bit of personalities, That's unreal. Cool. All right. No, it's cool. Well, looking forward to seeing how that one comes together.
Yeah, it should be fun. It should be fun.
Unreal. Well, we'll drop another track, one of your choices, which is the KidCrusher. Back to the KidCrusher, was it?
KidCrusher. Yeah, this will be In Your Nightmares, I think.
Oh, In Your Nightmares, yeah.
I think you're in this clip.
I was.
If you check out the music video. But KidCrusher. We could talk about him now, or we could talk about him after the song.
No, well, let's expand on. You've worked a lot with KidCrusher over the years.
It would be more than a decade I've been working with KidCrusher. Like, it would have literally been maybe 2005 or 2006 we first started corresponding. It would have been on MySpace, if you remember that.
Yeah, back in the MySpace.
Back in the MySpace days.
And we made those Bones.
Bones has taken the dive. And we made a clip out in Ararat at an abandoned insane asylum. Maybe in 2006 for one of his songs, that was the first time I met him. We corresponded, and he's
that's what they do, the ghost tours, is it?
They do now, yeah.
Okay.
Back in 12 years ago, 11 or 12 years ago, they didn't. It was like Anthony, who was one of the guys I was working with at that time. He knew a security guard who worked there who just let us in, and we stayed the night and shot a music video there.
Oh, crazy.
And I've done, I don't know how many, half a dozen clips with KidCrusher since.
He's done because you did that massive, was it in Zombieland?
Alice in Zombieland.
That was, I remember seeing that, man, that was like next level stuff.
Yeah, that was huge. Shot that out at
That was crazy. The set, was that a set or was that like a warehouse?
It was a set. Do you remember IRL Shooter when it was happening?
Yeah, maybe telling me.
Yeah, it was a few years ago. These guys put together an experience called IRL Shooter, and it was like they give you like I don't exactly know how it worked, but like one of those laser guns, and they decked out these two warehouses in sort of Resident Evil style sets. So there's like, weird laboratories and like just random dark areas you can go through.
Yeah.
And they had actors, dozens and dozens of actors dressed up as zombies hidden around the place, and you and your friends go through with your laser guns and zombies jump out at you and you shoot them.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So they let us shoot the music video in there. So we had a huge set.
Yeah.
We contacted through IRL, we contacted all of their zombies and said, "Can you come and be in it?" And I think KidCrusher also threw a post up on his Facebook page saying anyone in Melbourne who can dress up as a zombie. So we had, I don't know how many, but it looks like freaking hundreds in the
like an army. Yeah.
We had heaps of extras. We actually split up into, I took a camera and went off with some zombies over in this corner, and Brendan, who helped shoot that video, he took a camera and went off with KidCrusher and the other guys and shot. So we had so much space and stuff. It was just a crazy fun day.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
No, and cool. I play guitar and on the music video for this one.
In Your Nightmares.
In Your Nightmares, yeah.
Oh, this also, just side note, this also features Jenna Dwyer.
Ah, it does too.
From Parts Unknown and Novista.
Unreal.
Oh, and Danae Swinburne. She was in Sheborg. She was in Sheborg, Tarnation, and she's also in Novista.
Unreal. So bringing the homies together.
Yeah, bringing the homies together.
Unreal. Okay, let's do it. So KidCrusher, In Your Nightmares, and we'll come back and talk a bit more with Daniel Armstrong.
So sick in my mind from 9 to 5. So sick, I don't know if I'm alive. I'm giving them a sipping and I'm coming in the motherfucking window when I'm gonna stick my dick in there. Fuck a bitch in the sleep, cut the body up and everybody part I'm a keep. I'm a cannibal, animal, bitches in the get them all. 6 feet deep, underground, real animal. I'm a poltergeist, a paranormal entity, you ain't get rid of me. I'm your nightmare, Freddy Boogeyman, bitch. Get your body like a wicked brother, I'm waiting for the twitch. No more, I wake up in the cemetery. I try to move, but I'm dead, this is my mortuary. There's nothing left for me, and yes, there's nothing left for you. I'm dropped to bits, I'm not the love, so what the fuck am I to do? I'm torn in a twisted pain, I know I wanna get it clean. I'll get up, it's a bitch's brain, and yes, I'm gonna fuck you in your nightmare. Shut the lips and you can hear the sound. Resurrection, you can get to me. You're falling and crawling and calling for God. But that's what you got. Your thoughts are misleading, your feelings are bleeding. You start with the screaming, you fight when you're dreaming. The blood is all you see. That's what I gotta break. Nobody's gonna rip it cause you're living unforgotten. So close to death, I rip off my flesh. I can't catch my breath, I'm so filled with stress. I hold on to a little bit of nothing. So high when my body keeps watching. Dead body bitches I'll be fucking. Like birds I will keep on catching, touching. I know what disgusting, rusting to the point I'm busting deep inside your corpse, of course, and not distort your thoughts. Through the neck and I'm a god, it's the end to the wall. Do you wanna sing along? I talk it down to I'll fucking down. And when I talk backwards, I talk a little bit of doo. Just fuck with me, step fuck with me. Cut a pentagram, idiot wrist to get pissed. Fucking demon with the devil horn. What the fuck? I wanna hear scream, I wanna hear more. When I get inside of that mind and I take it so far that you never see light. I might bite, I.e. oh my, don't mind the bugs, just a parasite. Take a journey to the end of the world, it's so cold. And the people that we pray for bliss is no gold. There's a motherfucking dick you won't will behold. So we write it on a book and preach should be told. This is the end, you can't pretend. But fuck you, bitch, you know way and get your nightmare. You can listen, you can hear the sound. But you wishing you can get the mound. You're falling and crawling and calling for God. But this time that's what you got. Your thoughts are misleading, your feelings are bleeding. You start with the screaming, you fight when you're dreaming. The blood is all you see. That's what I'm gonna pray. So far away. Just darkness you see. Darkness you shine, hear your cries, hear your call, hear your call. Just darkness you see, on the low with the stone cold. You got it up inside that morbid zoo, intoxicated from rock. Nightmares, the sickness that you were always fear. I'm always here, 'cause I am your now. I'm in your face, I wanna waste, nothing to trace. Nothing but price, always Venus on your face. Thinking of me, I got this idea, stuck in a paradox. I mean, I give it a cross. I don't give a fuck. Just darkness you shine.
Welcome back to Noise Inc. Radio. I'm Hal Bon Noise, and you just heard KidCrusher in Your Nightmare, which I was privy to enough to play some guitar in. And we're here with actually guitar in the music video.
Mimed some guitar playing.
Yeah, mimed some guitar, which Daniel, our special guest, filmed. So I guess the relationship there with KidCrusher, it's gone just beyond music videos, hasn't it, Daniel? He's done some soundtracking and...
yeah, that's true. He's he wrote the entire musical score for From Parts Unknown.
That's crazy.
So, like, you know, he turned into Danny Elfman for however many months he was working on that.
Man,
he also,
I can imagine him enjoying that too, just in his little element.
Yeah. I think he did.
Professor.
He's really good with the musical scores because, like, and he obviously went out and got himself some big cinematic packs because it's like quite a lot of cinematic sounds and all that kind of stuff in the music he did. But he's also got a really wicked sense of humour with his music.
Yeah.
Like, he has a couple of record scratch kind of moments that just enhance some of the jokes that are going on. It's hard to explain without, like, seeing it.
Yeah.
But he also did the entire soundtrack for Sheborg Massacre.
Crazy.
And that was all much more an industrial kind of dubstep kind of dubstep crazy messed up. It's just kind of messed up. It doesn't sound at all like, say, an orchestral kind of score. It's all this.
Yeah.
It's really sort of
more industrial, dubstep,
hardcore kind of electronic sounds and stuff.
Sick.
Which is, you know, because it was about a cyborg, so that makes sense.
Because he released them as part of his catalogue, didn't he? His soundtracks, or was that part of?
I don't know if he has. I think he.
There was something he put out.
Maybe he did. Well, he
or if he had key songs in
he
there.
Has certainly. He certainly talked about it and wanted to, but I don't know whether he ever has.
Okay.
Actually put them together and released them.
Crossing conversations.
Yeah, it might just be something he's planning on doing or wanted to do and hasn't done.
Is that something you've thought of? Like starting up a little in-house label and releasing all your soundtracks for each movie? Or?
No, that sounds like way too much work. Definitely.
Just a little side thought.
I mean, we did for Tarnation, for instance. We did release a 7-inch vinyl single.
Yeah, Matt. Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Which was it was a double A side. On one side it had a song from Sheborg, and on the other side it had a song from Tarnation. They were both by
the Mercy Kills.
Yeah, but they were by the Mercy Kills in the guise of the bands they were in the films.
Okay.
So there's the song's called Puppy Farm Massacre, and the band's called Devil Woman, but that is actually the Mercy Kills. And from Tarnation, the song's called Tarnation, and what were the band called? the Daisy kills.
Ah, cool.
Because Daisy, who played the lead role in the film, actually did the vocals on that track.
So she sung, actually.
So she sang. The Mercy Kills wrote the song, and they got Daisy to sing it.
That's cool.
That's right. So yeah, so we've done a little 7-inch, and it'd be kind of cool to do fun. But the truth is, all that stuff it takes a lot of time, and it takes money, and
it's not your core focus.
And you never make any kind of money back. Yeah, and that's not the core. It's not the core focus. It'd be awesome to do all that kind of stuff.
Maybe something in future you could do just for fans that are growing into music. They can into your movies, can enjoy the music and
it'd be fun.
Jump on Spotify and
that'd be very fun.
Yeah.
So some good, especially like there's always lots of local bands in the. We've had.
So who else have you worked with? I suppose when it comes to the music video side of it.
To Kill a Mockingbird have given us songs. You gave us a song.
Yeah, I was a little band forming Thorn Within. We did that shoot in the garage.
That's right, Thorn Within. We shot something.
The fire cage. I think he wanted to test some stuff out too.
I just wanted to have some chicks fighting in the cage.
Battling it out.
Thought that'd be a good idea. These boys, whose name I mentioned, Witchgrinder. They've chucked a song in a film.
Cool. Yeah.
Will Ablaze have given us a song. We used one in there.
Yep.
I can't even remember the whole list. Like the Murder Rats have given us stuff.
Yeah, they're back on the scene now. They've come back from a hiatus. Yeah.
Dark Shadows have chucked us music. We've done a couple of cool music videos with them.
You've used a Hatchet Dawn song, I think, in
Hatchet
Dawn,
Planet of Terror.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
I think that's how we met.
I think you're right, actually.
It was because I saw I think it was a MySpace or an early Facebook post. You were looking for songs for a soundtrack.
Yeah,
I think I submitted.
Yeah, Murder Drum. Yeah. And it's used in the crucial scene where the serial killer gets created.
Yeah, it's like the
flashback where the roller derby girls like kill her and set her on fire, and then she comes back with murder powers.
Sick.
As you do.
Yeah.
I'm in a heap of bands.
Yeah.
I can't even remember how many. On Tarnation, I know they were almost all American.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of American guys.
How did you get involved with American bands for that? Just social media again, or?
Yeah, social media, and I decided for that one. Aside from the Mercy Kills, who supplied music as well locally, I decided I might try putting some little American acts in and see if that helps promote the films in America, basically.
Oh, it's
because it's
a shot. Yeah.
In terms of doing a screening here, it's like, if you've got a couple of bands who've got songs in the film, then the band at least comes, so that's like 20 people there.
Yeah.
And then they probably bring a boyfriend and a girlfriend and one or other two hangers on, so it's like it gives you a bit of an audience gives you a couple more eyes on, just to be cynical.
Yeah.
But it's also just kind of more fun. I thought, try to make some contacts.
Awesome.
Over in the other place. What do I call it? America.
What's the saying? Land of opportunity, or was it
I have no idea.
My memory was at one point.
It's the land full of Americans.
Yeah. Unreal. So there's something I want to work on you down the line is a short film idea I pitched you, I think, early this year. Which
do you know what? I think you pitched it to me at the launch for the Mercy Kills Supersonic.
Yeah, that's right. I was hanging out. I was like, dude, I got this cool idea.
Yeah.
I was asking about budgets. That's right.
Yeah.
What's the budget for a short film these days? And just talking about that. But yeah, I've done a couple of music videos with Coffin Carousel, but it's kind of featured a couple of key characters that
maybe make a story out of.
Yeah, definitely. Expand on like a Sin City meets like a Grindhouse style.
Well, I haven't seen Mandy yet, but I've got a feeling I'm going to like how that looks. So
it's totally up your alley.
Sin City meets Mandy kind of thing.
Yeah, but I want to play like the lead character guy with the suit and the whole the look and.
That look there?
That shoot I did with Rom, it kind of, I don't know, I want to capture that guy. Make him, maybe not a full feature thing, but like a short film thing.
Yeah, cool short film. More than a music video. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Maybe drop a song in it or something without a band performance.
Well, you could do similar to the KidCrusher one, the Alice in Zombieland. That was it was 13 minutes long.
True.
Because we kind of, we just had so much potential material. It was like, let's just shoot a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And it was a bit felt it was disappointing or not satisfying to smash it all just into the 4-minute song. So I was like, well, let's just do it. And then, of course, he released the version that gets the most views is just the song.
Yeah.
But out there is this big 13-minute kind of thing. So maybe something like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll talk more.
I want to do it, I reckon, in 2019. If you got some time, I've already spoken to a couple of the key
Yeah, okay.
friends I've had in those videos, and they're all up for it. So,
Yeah, well, there's always time.
yeah.
Well, it's perfect timing because when you're in post production, that's like I said before, it's pretty much me in my garage.
Escape the studio.
So any excuse to get out of the house is always good.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll get my budget together and the ideas, and
rock and
we'll
roll.
hook it up, man.
All right.
Yeah, make sure you call my agent when
And
you want an actor.
we've already talked about this.
I'll
Cool.
keep telling people.
He's got to have you've got a cameo in a few other
Oh, just in one video.
one video.
Yeah, I was in it for like 1 second.
Yeah, is it?
I'm hoping to expand on that.
Yeah,
we can try to get
We'll
it
bring
to
it
2
back.
seconds at least.
yeah, we'll breach it for a couple of seconds.
But it was
Cool.
the most famous part of the whole thing, you know.
Awesome. It was a standout moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll bring it back. Cool.
Yeah, all right.
You can jump in this.
Beautiful.
Cool. Well, I guess as far as the horizon for yourself, like where do you want to be in 5 years? Is this just doing your thing?
I've never planned that far ahead.
Okay.
In my life.
It's a bit of a
It's just what I said earlier.
Random
Like
question.
I'll keep doing this film stuff as long as I feel like I'm getting better and that I've got things to learn, which you never stop learning, do you?
no.
In terms of ambition in film, that is the ambition, just to get better. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a hope somewhere that you can build a momentum and that maybe we can get like somebody else's money
Sure.
to make
I was
the
going to say,
film.
I'm friends with Rod Hardy. I can hook you up if you want.
Yeah, please do.
Ooh, yeah. Get that big budget behind.
Please do.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be nice to have a budget, talking because it has every film has been financed out of basically my pocket or the pocket of other people working on it. And
Yeah.
of course, everyone working for free except Novastar. We ran a Kickstarter and we got about $5,000 together from that.
Oh, mad. Yeah.
And we had a couple of guys who came on as executive producers who actually gave us cash, like a few grand.
Yeah,
worth of
cool.
cash.
Yeah, that's
So-
awesome.
But we still had to end up kicking up a little bit ourselves. But that's the first time we had some money. Still not enough to like pay people. That's where ideally you'd like to be. Have enough money to go
But
here.
at least
everyone
put
can
into
pay.
the production and
When it's little bits of money,
Yeah.
like probably, been spent like as a bit of a rule of thumb, or lick your air kind of quote, around $10,000 is what ends up getting spent on each one of these films,
okay.
and that's not enough to pay
No.
like 50 plus people anything that's worth paying them. So as long as you make sure that
Yeah.
10,000, as much of that goes in front of the camera as possible, that's the priority.
Okay.
Be great to get
20,
Well,
30, 50,
even
50 grand.
50 grand plus, and you could
Yeah.
start throwing some money at people. Still kind of a token amount of money, but at least then you got enough.
Yeah. That'd be
So,
awesome. I think
you know.
maybe expand on some locations and sets and
Look, money. Well, I think the thing money would buy you most is more time.
Okay.
And because there's more time to do it again.
oh yeah.
More time to rehearse. More time to find the
Bit
best
of pre-production
locations.
and-
More time to build cool sets.
Mm.
That kind of stuff.
I don't know.
So
It'll come one day, I'm sure. Keep doing your
Well,
thing because
this is why I don't try to plan too far ahead, because I
Yeah.
just keep doing my thing. And as long as personally, and I
Yeah.
think for the people involved, as long as we're always getting better in some way or learning or
sure.
moving forward, then that makes it a valid experience.
Awesome.
That's my plan.
Good stuff. I like the plan. All right, well, we're gonna close up the I'd say the sesh with another Mercy Kills track.
Just say you do.
Say you do, yeah.
This is a
Which-
great clip. Which you're in again.
know.
What
Was it-
are you, man? You're everywhere.
You put the calls out and I'm there. I love being a part of creative projects. It's fun.
Daniel, where can people catch your previous films to watch?
All right. Your best bet. Well, here in Australia, your best bet will be actually hit up Monster Pictures. So just go to
Yeah.
monsterpictures.com.au. They're our distributor. In theory, you can get most of them at JB Hi-Fi.
Sweet.
But Monster Pictures, they're our distributor. They sell direct if you want to buy any of the films, but they will also know where they're available.
Cool.
So that's the place to go.
Get all over it.
Yeah.
Do you have a website for your production and yourself or
Yeah, Strongman Pix, P-I-X.
Cool.
.com.
.com? You got the social, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, Strongman Pictures Entertainment.
YouTube.
You find me.
More important for yourself.
Find us on Facebook. I've got an Insta somewhere. I'm pretty, to be honest. Like I've been losing faith in the socials, so they're not super active at the moment. But like I'll regain faith later when I've got something to say and be back on it. So find us on Facebook and
Awesome.
track everything else down from there.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for coming down and hanging out.
my
We've got the
pleasure.
roll door up today. It's an awesome day.
It's almost barbecue time. Hey,
It's getting close.
We call it the AM barbecue.
Cool. I'll have to do it.
It's coming. It's
a
this
shout
week.
out.
Right? As soon as I get paid, the gas bottle's full.
Awesome. We'll bring down. I'll bring some veggies. We'll have a veggie queue.
Yeah.
You bring down the snags.
Yeah.
And we'll rock it. But yeah, cool.
Rock and roll.
All right, Daniel, thanks for coming down. And we're going to drop to the Mercy Kills Say You Do, which was a fun day at Cherry Bar.
It was a cherry bar, yeah.
Wasn't it?
With half of Melbourne's rock bands
music and film scene
involved. Yeah, that was a great clip.
Unreal.
Awesome.
All right, all the best, and we'll talk to you soon, mate.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for coming in.
No, thank you.
Race your kills, say you do.
Tell me, baby!
AustralianMusiciansRadio.com.